These globalists, uh, they're far more powerful than Mr. Trump. They're the ones who basically start wars and then fund both sides of the wars. This is well known and well documented what the banks are, the global bankers do, who are many of them part of these secret societies, if not all of them. Revelation chapter 17 verse 16 says that the 10 horns that you saw. So you have
Yes.
two elements, the political element of Christendom, and you have the spiritual element, which is the church, who is represented by the Pope. So this is what we see right now. The West is on the verge of collapse, and there is one country left that is holding back the tides of really this globalism. And right now, it's America. And set aside, I don't want to get into Donald Trump. You can't say his name without creating a host of problems. But my point is this: Donald Trump is, for better or worse, whatever you think of him, it doesn't matter. The truth is, Donald Trump has rejected globalism. He has resigned America this past month from the World Health Organization. They came out and said that they are no longer supporting the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. There you have, in those two elements, those pillars of globalization, those crises triggers that are being used for pandemics. And then on the other hand, you have the climate change agenda, which is completely the United Nations agenda. And of course, the sustainable development goals are to use those two crisis triggers of pandemics and of climate change in order to bring sustainability and equality and all these things. And of course, we read between the lines, reproductive health, LGBT, ideology, and all this stuff. And America right now is completely rejecting it under this current administration. They're throwing wokeism and everything out the window by the day. It's a sight
Yeah.
to behold.
It's amazing.
And yes, it is amazing. No matter what you think of Donald Trump. But let's talk about the Pope for a moment. Because the Pope said Benedict, like Abraham, Abraham was like the primordial rock that held back the tides of paganism, basically. Benedict said, he said, so too is Peter's confession. Peter becomes the rock that holds back the tides of evil in the world. He's Christ's guarantee against the gates of hell. You are Peter, Jesus said, you are rock, and upon this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell will not prevail. Now, this is the work of Jesus. And the office of Peter is kind of that guarantee that the gates of hell will not prevail against the truth. And so Jesus said also, I will send you the Spirit who will lead you into all truth. To my brothers and sisters who are Protestants out there, do your homework. I did it. I almost left the Catholic Church. Was this in 1992? Until the Lord, that's another testimony, but the Lord called me back and I started to study all the teachings of the Catholic Church, like Mary and Purgatory. Why is Mary so important? We don't worship her, but why is she so important? What's this about the Pope? What's this about purgatory? And I discovered that the truth has been preserved for 2,000 years, going back to the early church fathers, going right back to the apostles. And that's Christ's promise. But once you remove the ability for the Pope to be a rock, to be the rock of the church, and once you remove the political protection of Christendom, once those two elements, which really are the remnant of the Roman Empire, are removed, then the Antichrist can enter the scene. And I think
Mm.
we are very, very close because we see the entire infrastructure in order for us to buy and sell with a mark is completely in place. It's completely there, brothers and sisters, to move us to a digital currency and to have this mark that, according to St. John, goes on the forehead or the hand. And all those technologies exist today. This is why I think the globalists are not going to tolerate Donald Trump for much longer. He is a spoke in the wheel of globalism. Mark Carney, the new Prime Minister of Canada, who we didn't elect, who, according to a parliamentary law we have, was able to resume the leadership and become Prime Minister due to a rare
Mhm.
law that we have in Canada. He's he's not. See, Trudeau was an actor who was pushing the globalist agenda. Mark Carney, the Prime Minister of Canada, is the guy forming that agenda. He's even worse than Trudeau. He
Wow.
is an advisor to the World Economic Forum. He was the governor of the Bank of Canada, the Bank of England. This guy is so deep into globalism. He's really the new poster child of globalism, and he's at complete odds with Trump. And so
Mm.
again, no matter what you think of Trump, Trump is stopping right now. And go back to that scripture in Revelation. It says the beast, which Our Lady says represents masonry, hates the harlot. Why is it a harlot? Because America was used. She was used like a harlot to spread these enlightened democracies around the world. But now the time has come where it's no longer needed. I believe these globalists see the time is now, and they've said so. King Charles has come out and said we now need to move with rapid speed and put ourselves on a warlike footing and use these crises of COVID-19 and climate change to enact their global agenda. This is being said by world leaders. They're calling it a great reset. We need to build back better. So I don't think they're going to tolerate Trump for much longer, which, if everything I'm saying is true, we may see the collapse of the West as we know it,
Mhm.
perhaps literally, as you said, Ron, in 1 hour. And we're seeing recession now, perhaps setting in. We're seeing again the emergence of these new viruses. These are things. These globalists, uh, they're far more powerful than Mr. Trump. They're the ones who basically start wars and then fund both sides of the wars. This is well known and well documented what the banks are, the global bankers do, who are many of them part of these secret societies, if not all of them. Revelation chapter 17 verse 16 says that the 10 horns that you saw, they and the beast will hate the harlot. They will make her desolate and naked and devour her flesh and burn her up with fire. Now
Oh,
remember,
wow.
earlier the harlot is riding the beast. So, I mean, they hate her, but they're using her, right? Because she has a purpose
Yeah.
for a time, which is these enlightened democracies which America has spread. I also think, and this is what I've alluded to, and of course the writing that was prior to in 1 hour was talking about Russia and whether Russia will be the instrument of chastisement.